Are we live? Hello everyone, welcome to the Friday Night Curry Club. I'm sorry we're a few minutes late. You know what happens behind the scenes, but I just want to welcome you to my home and wish you all a very, very happy Diwali. So this is a Friday Night Curry Club. We haven't done it for a while, but it's a very, very special Friday Night Curry Club. One, because it's Diwali, and two, I'm doing it in conjunction with these lovely people from Tea India. So if you have any tea related questions, please ask away. And we've got some lovely members of the team who are actually joining us. And if I can't answer your questions, I know they will. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's lovely to have you join. If this is your first Friday Night Curry Club with me, then as always, what I like to say is please introduce yourself, please say hello, please tell me where in the world you are, and tell me what time it is and what you're up to and all of that kind of thing. This is your opportunity to get lots of information out of me, so please feel free to ask lots of questions. My daughter, who mans the questions, will shout them over to me and I can answer them as we go. So have we got lots of people joining us?
We've got Andrew Sherman says he's here.
Hello Andrew, good to see you. I know you really liked that my husband's dish, didn't you? The courgette and sausage curry. He's really pleased that you liked it.
Tina says she can't wait, got my ingredients out.
Hi Tina, so you're cooking along. Oh, that's the other thing, you need to tell me if you're cooking with me or if you're just watching, so let me know, because it's always fun to have lots of people cooking.
Sue is here.
Hi Sue, I know you're making Diwali chicken from what you've told me, but you can enjoy the aroma, well, maybe the aromas of what we're doing.
Lots of people. Yvonne in New Zealand.
Hi Yvonne in New Zealand, amazing. Is this your first curry club? I don't know if, I don't remember having an Yvonne from New Zealand before, but welcome. What time is it? What time is it? About 7:30? Yeah. Tell us what time it is, tell us what you're doing, but welcome, lovely to have you join me.
Michael Quinn says, ciao from Central Italy, says he's not cooking tonight, has got enough biryani from your recipe for a month.
Oh, I saw your picture of the biryani, it looked amazing.
He says, in bocca lupo, what do you think that means? What do you reckon that means?
I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Is it rude?
No, it means break a leg.
Break a leg. Thank you very much. I'm very, very honoured to have you join. Thank you for coming along.
We've got Ildiko's here.
Hello, Ildiko from?
Hungary.
Hungary. Welcome. Lovely to have you join. I'm getting lots of new names, lots of new people joining.
Oh, Tea India are in the house.
Hello, Tea India. Welcome. I hope you're well. Lovely to have you join. As I said, guys, the people from the team from Tea India are online. So if you've got any questions about anything we're doing, drop them a little note and either I'll answer or they will. So if you've got any questions, please do ask away.
So many people. Sonia in
Hi, Sonia.
New York.
In New York. Oh, my favourite city. Welcome. Lovely to have you join us.
Eric saying happy Diwali from Madrid.
Oh, thank you. Happy Diwali to you too.
Joni and Lawrence are here. All
Hi, Joni. Are you cooking?
No.
Oh.
Chef Al is in the house.
Hi, Chef.
That's yeah, Chef Joni. And then we've got Kyle in Paris, someone from California.
Kyle. Oh, so many people.
Everywhere.
Welcome to my home. And thank you for joining me. It's amazing to have you join.
Tread the Globe in Turkey.
Hey, Tread the Globe. How you doing, guys? I hope you're well. I know we had a little bit of a scare with the earthquake and everything, but I'm so glad that you're well and you're still, I read your newsletter. You're still travelling around. Lovely to have you join. Hello, welcome. Okay, so as I said, today's a very special Friday Night Curry Club. It's Diwali tomorrow. So for those of you who don't know about Diwali, Diwali is probably one of the biggest Indian festivals.
Say hello to Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. I'm getting lots of people. Hello, thank you for joining. I hope you're cooking. If you're not, there's going to be trouble. So for those of you who don't know what Diwali is a very big Indian festival. It's probably the biggest. It's celebrated in millions of households across the world. It's basically, the basic essence of Diwali is all about how good triumphs over evil, how light always pushes the dark out. And it's a Hindu festival in, you know, the majority of people's homes, in that it signifies Sita and Rama came back from exile, and all the world rejoiced because they were so happy to have them come back. And as they came back, their road was lit with diva and light. So it's the festival of light. It's about bringing light into your home. It also sort of coincides a little bit with a Sikh festival, which is called Bandi Chor Divas, which is, so I'm Sikh, and that's pretty much more sort of the area that, or the festival that we tend to celebrate. But all in all, the main essence of it is all about how good triumphs over evil, and how light lights the way, and it's all about prosperity. It's about new beginnings. It's the beginning of the new year. So it's all about the good stuff, and we need lots and lots of good stuff. So the way that I would celebrate Diwali normally, a lot of it is centered around food, as you can imagine. But for me, it would be very much about going to the temple, a little bit of meditation, sort of thinking inwardly. But it's about family. It's about bringing people together. It's about community. What we would tend to do is we would have tea or chai, some masala tea, and lots of snacks. So we've talked about snacks before. We would always start with having samosas or pakora or little aloo tikkiyan. So lots of sort of veggie dishes that you would combine with tea. So whenever people came to your house over Diwali, the first thing you would do is offer them tea, and you'd have these snacks with it. So you can't start a Diwali celebration without tea and pakora or some form of snack. So that's what we're going to do today. A lot of people think that having tea with a savoury snack is a bit weird, but if you haven't had it, I tell you, the combination is spectacular. That lovely, and I like my chai sweet. I know we're supposed to be cutting down on sugar, but it's Diwali, it's fine. I like my chai to be really, really sweet, with a really spicy dish on the side, I'm telling you. And those of you who have joined, who know me personally and came to our wedding and so on, you will know what I'm talking about. That sweet tea and a lovely spicy pakora is amazing. So that's what we're cooking today.
Lisa says she's not cooking, she can't see any potatoes.
So I'm going to show you how to make, I've gone courgette, so just because it's just coming out of season, but courgette pakora. We're doing courgette and onion pakora, and I'm going to make a lovely spicy tangy mint chutney to go with that, and then we're going to make some amazing masala chai from the guys at Tea India who've done the hard work for us. So first things, so are we ready? First of all, everyone who's cooking, can you give me a little thumbs up, give me a little shout out to say that you are ready to go?
Joni says, I know you're on the tea, but we're on the Prosecco in honour of you.
I'm glad, Joni, you're on the Prosecco. That's fine. It is Friday. Those of you who want to have a drink, you know me. I'm always happy to, help you along with that. But I'm glad you've got the Prosecco out. Anyone else got drinks out?
Well, someone has just asked where the tea is available to buy.
Oh, so the tea is available in a number of supermarkets. We've got the links to the shop actually on the YouTube channel, but I'm sure the guys from Tea India can pick that up. I think it's available in Morrison's and I think in Sainsbury's, if I can remember correctly. But guys, if you can pick this up, that would be really helpful. Okay, so are we ready to cook then? Yeah? Okay, so the first thing you need is a parat, or a nice big bowl. And what we're going to do first of all, so you can do this in a number of different ways. You can grate your courgette if you want to. You can just grate it really finely. You can chop it up really, really finely. But what I want to do is I want to keep my my courgette nice and long and stringy. So I've got this little gadget that I'm going to use, which is amazing. And I have used this before on the Friday Night Curry Club, but it's just incredible. It's just like a peeler, but it's got these little blades in there, and it's just brilliant. So I like to do that and just keep them really, really nice and long and thin, because I'm going to have these pakora so that they're all lovely and fun shaped. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to get my oil on. So I am going to deep fry these. Now, for those of you who are a little bit more health conscious, obviously you can bake these as well. You just get them onto a tray, get them nice and nicely shaped, and you can bake them in the oven if you would prefer, but I prefer to deep fry them. It is a special occasion after all, and it's not something that you have all the time or eat every day. So I'm going to make the most of it.
A lot of people are in awe at the size of your onion.
These onions, I've got a little story about these onions, so, and you'll probably see it when I peel it. But these, so I got these from a farm store quite local to me, and they're massive, which is great. But as soon as you start chopping them and using them, I don't know if you saw my Instagram this week, but I was literally crying my eyes out. They are so sharp, and but you'll probably see that again in a minute, because I think I'll be crying again.
Sonia's drinking a watermelon margarita right now.
A watermelon margarita? Loving it. Where are you?
She's in New York.
What time is it in New York now? Oh yeah, okay. That sounds good to me. Okay, so here's my courgette. Lovely, long and stringy. Beautiful. Yum. So into that we're going to start to add some aromatics and some flavour. So I've got some fresh coriander here. I'm just going to chop that up and get that in.
Nushi says, I've prepared all my ingredients with potatoes. I guess I'll still use them.
Hi Nushi, what do you mean you've prepared all your ingredients with potato? You've done it all, but you're not using courgette, you're using potato? If that's your question, yep, that's absolutely fine. So pakora you can make, and veggie pakora obviously, you can make with any vegetable. Quite often they're made with potatoes and onions. You don't always have to do that, obviously. You can change it up. I do like onion ones. I like pakora with potatoes in them. Aubergine's really good in pakora. So, you know, yeah, if you've done it with potatoes, that's absolutely fine. Not a problem. It will still be amazing. So I'm just chopping up a couple of chilies. I like mine spicy, as I said, because I'm going to have my lovely sweet jar with it. So I'm just chopping that up. So
Is there an alternative way to prep the courgette if I don't have that peeler? You
absolutely can prep your courgette in lots of different ways. So you could use a grater, just a normal grater, and just grate it. You could even blitz it if you wanted to, and that just gets all the moisture out, which is fine. You can just chop it up. Just chop it up really nicely and then go over it again. So you don't need, don't feel that the equipment that you are lacking stops you cooking, because you can just do other things. Now, when you're chopping up chilies, especially for a dish like this, make sure you chop it up nice and finely. So can you see, I haven't just left it in those big chunky bits. I've gone over it 2 or 3 times. And the reason for that is I don't want to bite down on a great big piece of chili. I want the flavour of the chili and the heat of the chili to dissipate throughout all of that mixture. So we're chopping that up beautifully, lovely. That goes in.
John says, hello from Korea. I'm drinking an ice IPA and wishing I had the wok heating up the oil, maybe tomorrow. Thank you very much for your saag paneer recipe.
John from Korea, thank you for joining. Amazing. So get your wok out tomorrow and get yourself cooking and take some pictures, because I want to see what you come up with. Amazing to have you join me. Thank you.
And someone's asked, what's aubergine?
Aubergine is eggplant. So it's the purple eggplant or white. You can, they come in lots of different colours. But yeah, aubergine. So that's someone from the US, I take it. But yeah, aubergine is eggplant. So in here, all I've got is courgette, coriander, chilies have gone in. I'm going to grate some ginger in there. So just fresh piece of ginger. You don't need to peel it or anything. I'm just going to grate that in. Now, if you've got potatoes in your pakora, then a bit of ginger is absolutely vital because it just balances out that flavour of the potato. But ginger just gives it real freshness. So a little bit in there. Now, when you're making pakora, there are so many different recipes and so many different ways that you can do it. A lot of the recipes that are probably out there are really complicated because they use dried mango powder, they use anardana, which is pomegranate seeds, and all this kind of amazing stuff, which makes it taste great. But I think it also puts people off because they just can't get access to some of those ingredients. So I'm keeping it really, 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 really simple. You'll see me start crying in a minute because these onions are awful. Really tasty, but awful. So I've got half an onion here. It is huge, so really nice and fine. I'm keeping it long, the same sort of thin way that I've chopped up my courgette there. And for those of you who don't know what courgette is, it's zucchini. So just helping you out. So the onion goes in as well. Let's go with half for now, and then we can see how we go. So I'm going to pop that over there. So in my bowl, I've got the courgette, I've got chili, I've got ginger, and I've got that onion. And I'm just going to start to just separate all of those little slivers out because we don't want great big chunks of onion. We want it all to sort of, there we go. Oh, that's sharp. Right. Lovely, fresh, amazing mixture right there. Now into that, we're going to start to add some aromatics and some of our delicious ingredients. So into that, I am going to put some cumin seeds. So whole cumin seeds. What cumin seeds do is they bring out the natural sweetness of your dish, but when you use them whole, they add a really lovely nutty bite. Not just a nutty bite, but a nutty bite. So a couple of teaspoons of those have just gone in. I'm going to put in some fenugreek or methi, which is that lovely green herb, really earthy, aromatic, quite slightly bitter in its taste, but the fresh herb is much more mild than the spice you get. Some chili. So I've got Kashmiri Chili here. Those guys who've cooked with me before know it's my chili powder of choice. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in. So chili powder we use a little bit for colour. It's not just about heat, it's about colour, so that it just adds a lovely vibrancy to the dish. You can, if you wanted to, put a little bit of turmeric in as well. A lot of people do, so turmeric's really good for your digestion and that kind of thing. So you can put just a half teaspoon in. And then garam masala, the iconic spice blend of the north of India, goes in. My favourite thing in the whole world. It smells amazing and it just adds some just good stuff. So once got a question?
No, it's not a question.
So all of those ingredients have gone in there. All of those spices have gone in. Now, if you are ever making pakora, I get asked this a lot. People think, can they make the batter up beforehand? Now, with pakora, you can't do that because as soon as you start to add your spices into your vegetables, what happens is you start to draw out the moisture from those vegetables. And by drawing out that moisture, it basically means that the flour won't stick to them properly. So if you make up your mixture and then cook it an hour later, you're not going to get pakora the way that you want these bhajis to be all nice and stuck together, because you'll just end up with little bits of floating veg. So you've got to do this very much at the last minute. The other thing you can do is prep them before, cook them, and then you can reheat them in the oven. So that's another, if you've got friends coming around, not that anyone's got any friends coming around at the moment.
John says fenugreek leaves are so hard to find, seeds are easier, but do you have a substitution for the fenugreek leaves?
So fenugreek leaves are very unique. They are really difficult to find, and I always say to people, if you want them, we sell all of these spices on the website, so you can come to the app or come to the website and buy little bags of them. If you haven't got the herb, if you can't get the leaves, there isn't really a substitute for it. I would just recommend you just miss them out. This spice is quite harsh, and if you mix the two, or if you put too much of the spice in, it can be very, very overpowering. The other thing you can do is you could try and grow your own. So you can get some of the seeds that you've got and just put them, like you would with cress, just on some tissue, some wet tissue, until they sprout, and then you can grow them, because they tend to grow very easily. Okay, so my salt is going in. Now with pakora, and a lot of people, again cook things differently depending on where you're from. Some people, what they tend to do is make a batter and then they add their vegetables to it, which for me is just, it doesn't make any sense, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to harness the liquid that's in the vegetables. So once your veg and your spices are in there, we give that all a mix. Look at the colour change. Look at that. That's a thing of beauty. Now already, if you're cooking this, you should be getting those amazing aromatics coming through. Just smells incredible. So who is cooking with me? Whoever is cooking with me, give me a little shout. Are we all in the same place? Is everyone happy? Now, once you've got to this stage, you will already start to see that the moisture is starting to seep through. The whole mix starts to feel a little bit more wet in your hands. Now, as soon as that happens, this is when we're going to add our gram flour. So I'm going to give you the question again. For those of you who haven't cooked with me before, who knows what gram flour is? Question, answer on a postcard. Send those answers in. So I'm just adding that in here. Tell me what it is and I'll carry on. So the gram flour goes in, and with your fingers, so this is the other thing, there's none of this faffing around with spoons or mixing, get your hands in there. It's the only way you're going to get everything through. Now, as you start to mix, can you hear? Oh, my mic's here, sorry, I'm being really thick. Can you hear?
The first person, Sandra, says chickpea flour. Johnny says chickpea stuff. John says chickpea flour. Amanda says chickpeas. Bromwolf chickpeas. John chicks. John says chicks.
Chicks!
Elizabeth chickpea flour. Everyone's got it.
Well done, guys. Absolutely. So it's actually roasted chickpea flour. So you roast your chickpeas and then it's ground to a flour. And it's a flour that's used a lot in Indian cooking, and it's really good for dishes like this, but it's also really good as a thickening agent, not a thick agent, a thickening agent. But it's also gluten-free, so it's really good if you are a celiac or can't tolerate gluten. So the aim with the pakora, in my world, the aim with the pakora is to lightly coat them. So it's almost like a tempura. It's really lightly coated. It's not really dense. So it's not all about the flour. It's actually about the vegetables, and you want the vegetables to sing for themselves. So that is the mixture we are looking at. Photo opportunity. Okay, now by this point, hopefully your oil should be hot enough. So my oil is here. Now, the way that I always test to see if my oil is hot enough is, and be very, very careful, if you are not used to doing this, then you need to be very careful. So I'm just going to drop a little bit in, and what should happen is it sinks and it comes straight back to the top and it's all sizzly. So that way I know my oil is hot enough. Now I'm going to use my hand to fry these off. If you are nervous about doing that, you can just use a spoon. But if you are deep frying, please be super, super careful, because what you want to do is you want to very gently push those pakora into the oil and let them cook. What you don't want to do is dollop them in and then the oil splashes back at you. So please be super, super careful. So I'm going to do with my hand. And what I want to do is I want to keep my pakora really nice and long and scraggly. So I'm putting them in like that. I don't want balls of dough. I want the vegetables to be all nice and stringy today, because that's the kind of mood I'm in. Now, when you are doing this, don't overfill your grain or your wok, because as you're cooking, you are cooling that oil down. And if you cool it down too much, what happens is the pakora start to take up and soak up more oil than you want them to. So I've just turned it down a little bit. I'm going to wash my hands. So this is your opportunity, as I said.
Sue says she's missing your red top, but you're looking good in blue.
Do you like the blue? I don't often wear blue, do I? Oh. So, what I haven't done in this mixture is put the baking powder in, but that's how I normally cook it. So you can add baking powder. Some people find that it makes it a little bit more crispy, but you don't have to. If you get the temperature right of your oil and you're going to have them straight away, you don't really need to do that, but I have got some here. Right. So we want our pakora to go beautifully crispy.
Someone says, your pakora recipe is killer. After making soggy pakoras for years, I can finally make them that everyone asks for.
What was that? So after years of making soggy, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased that you've already tried the recipe and you're enjoying it, because it is really, really important that you enjoy the food that you're cooking for your family. Right.
Someone says, I love the mint chutney that you make with them.
That's what we're doing next. We're doing the mint chutney. The mint chutney is, I almost call it like an Indian mojito. You just need a little bit of rum in there and you'd be in your happy place. But it is so zingy, so fresh and so lovely. But that's what we're doing. But obviously with your chutneys, you can, so with all of these snacks that we serve, samosas, pakora, whatever it might be, that you always have to have a chutney. And in the Indian world, a chutney isn't necessarily a cooked chutney like it is in the Western world. Quite often they're just fresh ingredients that have either been pulverized or blitzed or whatever, and they're just really, really fresh and zingy. And it's all about making all of your taste buds come to life. So there's a bit of sweet, sour, spice in there. It's about all of those different senses coming to light. Right, so these are looking good. Yum. So if anyone's cooking at home, how are we getting on? Have we had any feedback from anybody? My oil is, there we go. Oh, they smell really, really good. Really tasty. Yum. Now the aim is, as I said, to get really crispy, crunchy pakora, and that is all about getting that oil temperature right. So I'm gonna.
I think the person that was talking about fenugreek earlier, they meant no. Whoever. What? Someone says, I messed it all up. Fenugreek leaves is not coriander leaves. Fenugreek leaves is kasuri methi, and you can buy it dried. Because they used, yeah.
What was that? I'm confused. So you've used the coriander instead of methi. Is that what they're saying?
I think, yeah. I think so.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know what this is a grain. And we tend to use it a lot for either dry cooking, but we'll deep fry in them. And it's an Indian wok, essentially, but they're made of cast iron. You can really regulate the temperature because how thin they are. but we use them a lot, and it's just because of the way that they heat up, so they heat up around the sides. So great for those lovely dry curries that we want.
Ildu Co says, what is the secret that they don't fall apart?
Your pakora, so they shouldn't fall apart. If your temperature is the right temperature of the oil, they shouldn't fall apart. But as I was saying earlier, if you leave your mixture for too long, then that can happen. So it is really important. Also, I suppose the proportion of flour that you've got in there is quite. But the more times you make them, you start to get a bit more of a feel for them, and then you can start to work it through. But generally, I mean, look, they shouldn't really fall through. I don't know if you can see.
Joni says, was that a sneaky drinky from a Prosecco glass?
Joni, you are unbelievable. I don't know what you're talking about.
My friends Finn and Mealy are saying hi.
Hi! Who's that?
Finn.
Hi Finn, how you doing? I heard that you wrote about me in your exam. Did you? In your GCSE mock exam, did you write about me?
He just says, you know, I wrote about Harry for my English.
Love it. I love it. I love that I am the source of your exams. Amazing. Right, I'm going to take these out. So these are looking beautifully crispy and crunchy. Oh, and I'm just popping them on here just to drain.
Someone's asked, I've got frozen fenugreek. I'm assuming I need to thaw it and squeeze it dry, the same as frozen spinach.
So it depends on how you've got your fenugreek. If it's frozen, for pakora, you probably don't need to squeeze too much of the liquid out of there, because once you put it in here and you add your flour, it's just going to absorb that flour, the flour and so on. So it'll all come together really nicely. So I'm going to do another batch. My oil wasn't quite hot enough, I don't think, so I'm going to let that heat up. So have we got anyone who's cooked? Are they coming out okay?
Joni says they're making tandoori to go with it tonight, and they're deep frying now. Smells
nice.
amazing. Yvonne asks, how do you do these in the oven? And both Lisa's. Chris?
So I'm getting lots of hello.
Chris
Hi Chris, how you doing? Jim, how you doing? I came to your shop today. Amazing produce. I'm really pleased with it. The oranges were incredible.
Amanda,
hi, how you doing? Lots of hellos.
and Lisa D and Lisa P.
Hi Lisa D, love ya. Nice to have you join. Okay, so I'm going to make another batch of the pakora. So the question was, how do you bake them?
Yeah.
First thing you need to do, obviously, is get your oven hot. I'd say 180 to 200. On your baking sheet, just smear a little bit of oil on there. And when you are making up your mixture, just make sure that you've got enough flour in there so that they hold. And all you need to do is just put little blobs of them onto that baking sheet, and then just bake them for about 15 minutes, and then go in and then turn them over and then bake for another 15 minutes, and they'll come out super crispy and just delicious. So they're really simple to do. Right, I'm going to do another batch. Oh, they smell amazing. I might have to take them round to people's houses who live locally. If we've got any left, that is. Okay, so that is looking good. So they shouldn't break up. If you've got the right sort of proportion of flour in there, they really shouldn't break up. So keep that on a high temperature. Lovely. Okay. Everybody happy? If you're cooking along, is everyone with me? Right, these are looking really nice. I'm gonna have a little taste.
Hang on, wait. Take a picture of you, Jake.
It's always a good idea whenever you're cooking anything like this. Do one batch for you. Taste it, make sure the seasoning's okay. And then adjust, add a little bit of salt, a little bit more chili, whatever you might need to do. But as you're cooking along, because you're doing it in stages, if you feel like your batter is getting too wet, you can just add a little bit more of the gram flour just to help thicken it, because as I said at the beginning, as soon as you add your flour into there and your spices, the moisture starts to get drawn out of those vegetables really quickly. Yum. These are looking good. Right, let's have a little nibble. So if you're cooking along, can you give me some feedback? Let me know how you're doing. Right, let's have a little taste. Oh, it's so good.
Lucy says, I'm your #1 fan.
Oh, it's so good. Hi, Lucy. Oh, that's so good.
Kyle is following along.
How are you getting on, Kyle?
Lisa wishes she was cooking.
See, that's the problem. You don't get round to organising yourself and then you think, oh.
Mark says, you know where we live, Harry. Lisa says, I've got your cake stand in return. Yes, please.
My cake stand? Oh. Oh, that tastes really, really good. So I'm going to carry on doing that. I'm just going to mix this last bit up. We'll get these on.
John says, good tip on the wetness, but in terms of seasoning, if you feel it's too bland, do you think it's best to season the batter or try to correct after the fry?
No, so if you feel like it's too bland, so one of the things that I tend to do is just before I'm frying, I will take a little bit on my finger and I'll taste the wet batter. I know people don't like to do that, but it gives you an indication of how it's going to taste. So then I will do a couple of them, taste it. If it feels like it needs adjusting, adjust it before you fry them. The only other thing you can do is once they're fried, you can then sprinkle a little bit of whatever that seasoning might be, but realistically you want to do it to the pakora and the batter.
Lauren says, hey.
Hey Lauren, how you doing? Hope everyone's good. These are looking fine.
Andrew asks, all looking really good, especially on the pakora. Did you get the chicken wing recipe back on the app and website?
Andrew, that was just so weird. Because that chicken wing recipe is my favourite chicken wing recipe. And I can't even remember when it was, but you commented, oh, Harry's taken it off the website. And I was like, I haven't taken it off the website. What's he talking about? He's gone mad. And then when I went to share it, you were absolutely right. It was nowhere to be found. Yep, it's back up there. So those of you who love chicken wings, I have got loads of fabulous wing recipes because I'm a bit of a chicken wing fan myself. But we had a bit of an issue where we couldn't find a certain recipe, but it's back up there now. So please do take a look at the website.
Couple of questions. Steve asks, is the recipe adaptable for diabetes?
It depends in what way do you mean, because it's probably quite a good diabetic recipe anyway, in that, you know, it's gram flour, which is a better flour. There's no sort of additional sugars or anything like that. In terms of ingredients, I suppose you could stick to something like onions, but if there's something specific that I've missed, just ask me. In terms of frying, I suppose the better option would be to bake them. So that's always an option. Okay, so.
And then Joni asks, hi Harry, wondering whether the cook along will be on again soon as we're in lockdown again. Also, Lawrence was wondering about doing a biryani live. I might have missed you doing it before.
So, yeah, I was doing them over the last lockdown every week. Which was great fun, but I had to obviously at some point, it's quite a feat to do it every single week. I do obviously want to do them because I do feel that they're good fun for me, but I know that you guys get a lot out of them. Obviously I have to fit it in with my time and all of that kind of stuff. So what I've tried to do is launch memberships on YouTube. Which is a subscription model, so I'm still going to be doing the live cook-alongs. It's going to be once a month, but it's under a subscription through YouTube. So if you want any more information on that, just drop me a note or have a look on YouTube. All the details are there. And just let me know what you think, if you're happy to do that, if you're not happy to do that. Just any feedback on that is really, really helpful. Yeah.
Another couple of questions. Steve asked, in the question about the diabetes, he means in terms of flour.
Oh, flour. So gram flour is supposed to be a better flour to use. You could use a whole meal flour. It's not going to give you the same sort of, actually what you would do is a mixture of a whole meal and some gram, so a mixture of the two. But gram flour, I believe, is quite a good one for diabetes, but I will double check that. Right.
And then, do you recommend any particular oil?
So I tend to use rapeseed oil. That is my oil of choice, just because it's a bit of a nondescript oil in that it hasn't got a lot of flavour in there. It's fairly, you can get it, you know, UK based. It's a local oil. I wouldn't fry in anything like an olive oil or anything like that, because it's just an absolute waste. So I wouldn't worry about doing anything like that. But yeah, rapeseed oil I tend to use. So I'm going to do this last batch, and then we're going to move on to the chutney, and then we're going to make some amazing jar or jai. So this is taking a little bit. See, I normally fry on my big fryer, which has got a better heat to it, but for purposes of the camera and all of that, we've moved it over to here. So last batch is going in, and then we are going to make some chutney.
Laura says, I love Indian food. I'm stocking up on spices and we'll dive in soon. Your kitchen rocks.
Oh, thank you. If you need any advice, Laura, on anything in terms of what to get, or what you feel that, you know, any questions, just let me know. I will help if I can, and I will answer them if I can.
Winnie says, that's one impressive chopping board you've got there.
I love my chopping board. My chopping board is ace. It was a gift from my husband. Yeah, I love it. Right, so the last batch is in. I'm just going to have a little wipe down, because being tidy is very important in the kitchen. Okay. So how are we all doing? If you are cooking along, how are we getting on, guys? Let me know. Now, when you're making pakora, what you'll find is as you start to cook them, it takes a bit of time, but then as you go on, they'll start to cook much, much more quickly, because the oil sort of comes to the right temperature and everything starts to happen at the same time. So that's what you are looking for.
Michael says,
look at that. Look at that, it's a thing of beauty. So crispy. Oh.
Michael says, when we were talking about seasoning after frying, he says he had pakora, etc., sprinkled with chaat masala powder, which adds a nice little kick.
Yeah, so if you want to season your pakora afterwards, chaat masala over the top, amchur, which is a mango powder over the top, works really, really well. Again, it's about, you've got something really nice and spicy, it's about adding that zing. What I'm going to do is add the zing with my chutney, which we're going to move on to next. So I'm going to let those carry on. So what I've got here, mint leaves. I've just chucked loads of water everywhere. So I've washed them, just kept them whole, just popped them in there. I'm going to blitz this with a blender. I'm just going to wipe down because I've just spilled lots of water everywhere. So I've got mint in here. I'm going to put in a chili, so just very roughly chopped. So one chili. You can add more chili if you want a little bit more of a kick.
John says, wouldn't a Dutch oven be better for the oil than a thin wok because of heat retention? I don't see any advantage to the wok. Please correct me if I am mistaken.
So the thing with, so The thing with a Dutch oven or a pan that's thicker is that it will retain the heat. When you're cooking pakora, you need to be able to fluctuate that heat because because it's not all uniform, not everything that's going in there is uniform, you will end up burning bits and pieces. So it's all about having the ability to turn it up and turn it down. Obviously, if you're cooking loads, it might be a different ball game, in that you see these great big woks that they use, but you need to be able to have that flexibility, and changing that temperature up and down is quite important. So you can try it, prove me wrong. You might be absolutely correct. Give it a go, see if it works. Let me know though. Okay, so I've got mint in here, I've got 1 chili, I've got a red onion. It doesn't have to be a red onion. I just so happen to have half a red onion in the fridge and I thought I'll use that. So roughly chop that goes in. I'm going to add my salt, here we go. So a little bit of salt goes in. And then I've got these lovely, yummy lemons. So when I am chopping up my lemon, all I want to do is just chop it in half. And I just want to take all of that rind off because we're going to use all the flesh. So just chop that all off. And if you've got any pips in there, just take those out. That goes in there. Lovely. And the other one, so I'm using 1 whole lemon. Now if you wanted to make this chutney with different ingredients, this is my mint one, but it's all about the sharpness, it's all about the zing, it's all about a bit of heat, so you can use other ingredients. Apple works really well, like a really sharp green apple works really well. You can add carrot into here, you can put tomatoes in, but just think about the flavours that you're adding. So is it that sharpness, is it sweet? You know, make sure that you've got the balance of all of those different flavours. Okay.
Kyle says, I don't have a lemon, would a lime be a disaster?
It won't be a disaster, it's still going to add that citrus if that's what you've got. It's going to change the flavour a little bit, but it's all good.
Johnny says, there's me sweating in my kitchen and the missus walks in and says, what a lovely dress, but nothing about my pakora.
I love it. Okay.
Andy says, hi all, great to see so many app contributors here tonight. Hope you're all doing well. Great job as ever, Harry.
Ah, lovely to see so many of you from the app. So for those of you who don't know or haven't joined before, we've got a lovely app called the Harry Ghotra app, which you can download for free. Just go to your app store and just download it for free. It's got all of my recipes. We do loads of live bits on there. All kinds of chit chat goes on, lots of sharing of recipe pictures, and it's just a really lovely place with so many lovely people who just want to chit chat about food. So please do download the app, and every now and again there's a sort of something fun that's going on there, so please do download it. Also, it's the quickest way to get a hold of me, so if you've got any questions, just ask away, and it's always me that answers. So
someone's asked about red onion versus a simple onion.
So as I said, for this, the only reason I've put the red onion in there is because that's what I had in the fridge. Any onion will do, it doesn't matter, any onion will do. It's just that's what I had.
Andrew asked, do you use your deep fry oil later for other smaller curries?
So in terms of the oil, so my graai or my wok stays on my hob all the time, because I'll sort of use it. I just put a cover on it and I'll use it as and when. If I've cooked veggie dish like the veggie pakora that we've made, then yes, I will reuse the oil again. But if I ever do anything like, very rarely, but if I made chicken pakora or if I made fish pakora, for example, then I would only really use the oil once, because it takes on the aromatics of those ingredients and you can't really then use it again. So only once if it's meat or anything else that you might have deep fried, but for veggie stuff I will reuse. Okay, so all of those bits are in here, and then what I'm going to do, it's going to get very noisy, so you probably won't be able to hear me. I'm just going to blitz this. Look at the colours. Now you want to blitz it until everything has completely pulverized. Oh, it smells amazing. Lisa D, if you're still watching this, this is your kind of thing. It's really hot and spicy. I'm going to have a little taste. Obviously, you've got to taste these things. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, my chili was a bit hotter than I thought. That's good.
Jasmine says hi.
Hi, Jasmine. How you doing?
She says hi. Say hi to your niece. Say hi to your niece.
Hi, Jazzy. My niece is on. Hope you're well. Haven't seen you for ages. Hope lockdown's all right in Birmingham. Right.
Someone's asked, I'm tempted to use a pestle and mortar for this. Would it take too long?
To make the chutney in a pestle and mortar, so I've got a couple of things about that. So the way that you would traditionally make a chutney is absolutely in a pestle and mortar. And there is nothing that tastes more amazing than doing this in a pestle and mortar. It's just amazing. The flavours that you get when you're bashing up these ingredients in a pestle and mortar is unbelievable, but it will take a bit of elbow grease, if you know what I mean, and it will take a little bit of time. But absolutely, if you want to do it in that, then please do, because it tastes even better than it does doing it in a blender. So yeah, give it a go. Take a picture and share it with me, please, on the app. So there is that lovely, amazing chutney, which we are going to be dipping our pakora into. So as I said, it's about awakening all of those taste buds, making sure that everything is alive and excited. So we'll come back to that in a minute. So I'm just going to pop that over there.
Christine is saying, yeah, do you grow your own chilies?
Oh, yes. Hi, Christine. Yes, absolutely, we grow our own chilies. We had an absolute amazing harvest this year with, what did we grow? We grew some Naga chilies, we grew some spaghetti chilies, which literally grow like that. They're amazing. I've got them. I'll find them in a minute and I'll show you. And some chocolate habaneros we grew this year. Amazing harvest. I've got 3 big bowls full of them. And we've been umming and ahhing, but we're going to make some chili sauce. And do you know what I might do? I might do a giveaway of my own chili sauce. Well, my husband's probably going to fall off his chair now that I've said that. But I might do a little giveaway of my own chili sauce on the app. So we'll see how that goes.
Colin says, say hello to me in Denmark.
Hi, Colin in Denmark. How you doing? Lovely to have you join. You need to check out my new 500 Curries book in Denmark. Is it in Denmark?
No.
Oh, it's not in Denmark yet. Sorry, wrong country. It's in the Netherlands, isn't it? Yes. These are my spaghetti chilies. Look at these. Aren't they beautiful? That's a beautiful thing. So, coming back to Diwali, It's Diwali tomorrow, as I said, and one of the key things that you would do is you always start with pakora and chutney as your starter, and as a way of welcoming your friends and family into the home. I know it's a bit funny this time of this year in particular because we're not able to really do that, but it's still a good excuse to be able to eat some pakora and just indulge a little bit. So other things that you would do when you're celebrating Diwali, lots of Hindu families would do puja together, so they would all meditate or, you know, do some prayers together. Lots and lots of vegetarian food is shared, which is a lovely thing. Lots of sweets, so it is a real, Indian people love their sweets, almost to the point where their teeth dissolve, they're so sweet. So jalebis, gulab jamun, all of those kinds of halwa, and I've got loads of those recipes on the website, so if you want to have a look at those as well.
Someone said you should cover your chilies in a pakora batter and deep fry them.
So I have done that before, but the person who accidentally picks it up and doesn't realise it's a chili and eats it wasn't very happy with us. But yeah, absolutely, you can literally dip them in the pakora batter, deep fry them, stab them first because otherwise they will explode, which is quite dangerous. So stab your chili first, dip it in your pakora batter and you can deep fry it. Really, really yummy. Okay, so I'm going to clear this away and we're going to move on to, where's my cloth? We are going to move on to talk about chai or tea. So, who knows what chai is? Answers on a postcard again. So we are going to be using this chai today, which is masala chai. So who knows what chai is or tea? Oh, it smells amazing. So this particular, chai obviously is tea or Indian tea. There's lots of different types of tea. So masala tea is basically tea that's been infused with spices, and lots of different families do their own sort of version of it. And if I let you into a little secret, when I was young, so whenever anyone comes to your home, as an Indian, comes into your home, the first thing you offer them is tea. And we would always make masala tea at home. And it was the one thing that I was absolutely rubbish at. I couldn't make tea to save my life. It just, either I put too many spices in, or too much tea in, or I left it boiling for too long. It was always rubbish, and it's just an ongoing joke in my family that, oh, you want some tea, get Sonia, they call me Sonia at home, get Harry to make it, it'll be disgusting. And it's always been one of those things. So for me, this stuff is brilliant because they've done all the hard work for me. So chai or masala chai is basically tea that's had those lovely infusions of spices. So we use spices in lots of different ways in Indian cooking. It's not just about flavour and taste. It's about we eat seasonally, so thinking about the time of year. So when it's cold, when the seasons are starting to turn, you sort of start to include certain spices into your diet because they give your body all those extra nutrients or those extra minerals that you're sort of lacking. So we tend to have masala tea in the morning because it boosts your immune system, it boosts your digestion and gets you going for the day and so on. So tea is used in lots of different ways. It's about warming you from the inside out, and that's exactly what this masala tea does. So this one has got in there, it's got ginger, it's got cinnamon, it's got black pepper in there, which gives it a real warming sensation. It's got green cardamom, cloves and anise in there as well. So it's got a very, very gentle sort of aniseedy aromatics, but as soon as you open the packet, you get those coming through. So the way that you use this tea, either you use it as a tea bag, so you heat up some water, put it in your cup, put your tea bag in and you can add milk to that and so on, or you can make it as a latte, which is very trendy, I know. But the easiest thing to do is, so I've just got some I've just got some milk in here. I'm just going to pop the tea bag into there, and this is how they do it. So this is all about, so I'm just going to let that. So I've just got some milk simmering in there. And you would use enough tea bags for the number of people that are going to drink it. So I'm going to have 2 cups, so I'm going to put another one in there. I'm just going to let that simmer. And what happens is that all of those spices, the tea, everything that is in that amazing tea bag just infuses into the milk. And that just sort of gets that lovely warming flavour and those warming aromatics coming through. So this is a really lovely way of making that very expensive latte from a shop at home. So we're going to just give that a little stir. Now, one of the things, when I was little, one of the things that we used to have was yellow milk. And I don't know if you know what yellow milk is, but yellow milk is essentially, it's just turmeric milk. And all the kids get it, and the grannies would get it. And we just didn't really think anything of it. It was just yellow milk. It tasted nice. It was sweet, and so you drank it. But it's actually turmeric milk, which is, again, really, really trendy now, because you're looking into the health benefits of why turmeric is so good for you. It really is about boosting your immunity and all of those kinds of things. So if you are someone who struggles to sleep at night or just can't wind down, a really lovely cup of turmeric chai in the evening will sort you right out, just help you get to sleep and relax and
Someone's
so on.
asked, is soy milk okay?
So you don't, absolutely. So if you don't want to use milk for whatever personal preference is, any alternative, so almond milk, any of the other milks that you can get are brilliant. So can you have a look in the pan? I just want to show you what happens. So we had milk in here, but if you look, so this just boils away, and it smells like home. So can you see? So look at the colour of that. And if only we had smell-o-vision, hey, because you would be able to get those amazing aromatics that are coming off the tea, and it's just lovely. So if you haven't tried chai before, I really, really urge you to give it a go. So I was out in Mumbai a couple of times last year with a couple of friends and colleagues and so on, and they'd never had masala tea, and I said, it's the one thing that you have to have. And it's really impressive, because now, once you've had it a couple of times, you just think, oh, you get that real sort of desire for it, because it's so quenching and so warming and delicious. So I'm just going to turn that off. So that's all it takes. You literally heat up some milk, pop your tea bags in there. Now for me, I know this is naughty, but I'm going to have mine sweet, so I'm going to put sugar in there. You can sweeten it with honey. You could sweeten it with even you could use maple syrup if you wanted to, but anything. If you don't want to use sugar, that's absolutely fine. But for me, when you're having it with some spicy pakora and some chutney, you've got to have it sweet. You just have to have it sweet.
Christine's asked, have you already added the turmeric to that, or is it just in the tea bag already?
So the turmeric is already in the tea bag. So this is why these are so good. They've basically done all the hard work for you. So it's there's a whole range of them. I think we've got some more. So we've got masala chai, which has got this blend of masalas in there. The turmeric chai has already got the turmeric in there. There's a coconut one as well, which is delicious, and then there's a cardamom. So if you like those cardamom-y flavours, it's a really, really delicious one to have. Really warming. It's got that sort of bitter sweetness to it. It's yummy. And then I think that's the blends. Oh, there's a ginger one as well. Ginger. So if you're into that zingy, then there's a ginger tea as well. So loads and loads of different things that you can try.
We've got a few questions.
Okay, so I'm just going to answer these questions as they come up.
Is water okay to use?
To make the chai, you mean? So the way that you would normally or traditionally do it, you don't have to have it as a latte. What you can do is you can put water in here. You could boil it up in the water and then add a little bit of milk if you want to, or you just put the tea bag into your cup. You just pour boiling water over it, and then if you want to add milk or a milk substitute, whatever you want to do, absolutely you can add water to it.
Maria's asked, if we do it with an ordinary tea bag, or if we do it with ordinary tea, do we start with simmering the tea and spices in milk or first in water?
So you would use your spices, if you wanted to, make it yourself, you mean? Yeah. So you would put your spices in and then put your tea in, but it's quite a fine balance of getting it right, because sometimes it can, as I said, I used to mess it up all the time. It can be quite overpowering. So, and that's why I sort of think that some of these products just do that bit for you. So they do that hard work that you want to. But yeah, you can give it a go if you want to.
And then, do you bring the milk to boil and then simmer it for how long?
So you bring the milk to a simmer. You don't want to boil it. So remember, with milk, if anybody, so a lot of people haven't used a pan to boil milk. Once it comes to the boil, it will boil over. It's one of those funny things. So just bring it to a simmer, and then you need to turn it down. Then put your tea bags in, and you simmer it for 2 or 3 minutes, if that. All the information is actually on the side of the pack. And what's really nice about these guys is that they're very, very aware of their packaging and all of those issues. Plastic and tea bags is a big thing at the moment, and these guys are, that's all sort of something they've looked into. Can
you talk about, someone's said mint's quite expensive for me to buy. Would a coriander chutney work well for the
So a coriander chutney would work absolutely brilliantly with this. So if you didn't want to use mint, you can use coriander. You can also use tamarind. I don't know if you can get hold of tamarind. Tamarind can be quite tricky sometimes, but you can buy it in blocks, and that's it. So on the website, I've got a whole array of different types of chutneys that you can make and you can cook and you can use. So do have a look on the website and the app, because there's lots of different sort of recipes on there. Okay, so I'm going to pour my tea in. Oh.
Someone's asked, I think you explained it earlier, someone's asked, what does Diwali mean for Hindus?
So Diwali is the festival of light, and it's basically all about how good overpowers evil, and it's about new beginnings, it's about prosperity and looking forward to a better future almost. So in terms of it was Rama and Sita. So Sita was kidnapped by evil Ravana, and her husband Rama had to go and find her. It's this all kinds of shenanigans go on, and then he finds her and he brings his wife back, and when he finds her, to guide their way back, there's dive or diya, which are these beautiful little lamps, so people lit their way to guide them home, and that's why it's about the Festival of Light. It's about how light always brings darkness to an end, and how good always prospers over evil. It's an opportunity to come together with your friends, your family, your loved ones, to eat together, to share, give presents. It's almost like Christmas, but it's a really, really powerful time of the year for many, many Hindus and Sikhs, and it brings together lots and lots of different cultures. Right,
Tea India have just said, make sure you squeeze the back of the tea bag with the back of the teaspoon to release.
I did that, did you not see? So I did that, look, I squished it on the side of my pan. So it's really important. So one of the things, whenever you're making chai like this, just squeezing the tea bag with the back of a spoon on the end, on the edge of your pan, or on your tea, in your mug, sorry, and just pouring that last bit in there is really important, because it just gets all of those lovely flavors. I haven't had time to taste it yet. It smells incredible. See, it's the taste of India. It's just amazing. It is. So for me,
It was just a bit of
So
advice for
happy.
everyone. It wasn't.
I'm so happy. So I'm gonna dig in just because I can. So there is nothing, and I tell you, there is nothing that goes together hand in hand better than a spicy pakora with an amazing chutney. Oh, and a cup of sweet, sweet chai. Oh my God, it's amazing. For those of you who are interested in finding out more about the products that Tea India do, I've got links on the website. I've also put links on the YouTube channel as well. But it's really important that you should know I've got a very special discount. They've given me a very special discount just for you guys. So if you go to their website and order the products that you want, so anything over £10 spend, if you type in Harry, H-A-R-I, 2020, you get a discount, a free delivery. So make sure you go and check the products out, and then if you order them, make sure you use the discount code, because you know it's a discount, which is always good. So that essentially brings us to the end of tonight's session.
Lisa says, "Oh, there's definitely enough there to share."
I think I'm going to have lots of people knocking on my door in a minute. But that brings us to the end of the session. If anybody's got any more questions, please do carry on asking away on this video, and I will come back later on and I will answer them if I can. If you've got any other questions, you can also contact me on the app, so ask away through there. But I just want to say thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and those of you who've cooked, please, please, please take some pictures of the dishes that you've cooked and then share those with me on the app. I will let you know when the next one is going to be. I haven't made any plans yet, but as I said, if you do want to join the Friday Night Curry Club, we have turned it into a membership on the YouTube channel, so do go there, have a look, let me know what you think, give me your feedback. But thank you for joining me. I wish you and your families a very happy and light-filled and prosperous new year. Happy Diwali. Thank you for joining me. Big love. And thank you, Tea India. I'm really in my happy place. Take care, guys. Lovely to cook with you.